And to the Walsh family this time, we have an exciting interview today because the Walshes, called Walshies On Tour, popped up onto our radar recently on Facebook. And it's another homeschooling footprints family who are living their dream and traveling around Southern Africa and sharing their experiences. So why don't we start off with the question, when did you guys start homeschooling?
So thanks, Wendy. So COVID was really the catalyst for us, as I think many people. Yeah, we kind of made two very big decisions over this time. The one was to take the girls out of mainstream and start homeschooling, which is something we had never before thought about or even spoke about. And then, yeah, the second was making the decision to sell the house that we were currently living in and move to an estate close by with the opportunity to build on some land, which was desperately needed now that we were starting to homeschool. But unfortunately, or very fortunately, as it turns out, the house sold very quickly, but the transfer of the land into our name was delayed by at least a year. So, yeah, we very quickly found ourselves homeless. And but with being homeless, we also found a new sense of freedom that we hadn't yet experienced. We firstly had the freedom of time. We weren't slaves no longer to school calendars and school terms and extramural activities and everything that comes with the school system. And secondly, we experienced a financial freedom where we no longer were paying towards a bond or rent or levies, rates, water, electricity, and all of that comes with having a home. And so this really excited us. We thought, well, this is the opportunity to start doing a little bit of dreaming. And yeah, we thought, well, let's go traveling. Why not?
Why not?
But yeah, I think the decision to homeschool, sorry, to get back to your question, yeah, during COVID, I think we just started seeing a change in our family dynamic. There was suddenly, we weren't rushing to school and packing lunches and homework and nagging about homework and signing homework books and all of that comes with really the school system. And yeah, we just noticed a sense of calm and peace in the home. And it was like a breath of fresh air for us. And it's the first time that Ryan and I really looked at each other and thought, surely there's a better way of doing things. And I just furiously started investigating and researching, and I read everything about homeschool, everything about education, unschooling, Charlotte Mason, deschooling, everything. And the problem is, the more I learned and the more I read, I just became so convicted that this is the only way forward. You know, if we wanted to offer the most amazing education for our children, the only option is homeschooling.
Yeah. So Ryan, I'm assuming that she just chatted your ear off and you were like getting all of these terms flying at you. How did you feel about the big shift?
Yeah, I was very comfortable with it. You know, Nicole definitely did all the research. I think I had more of an inner peace just knowing that this felt right, and I didn't need to do the research. I was quite happy leaving that up to her to run down that Alice in Wonderland tunnel that she did. But the biggest thing that stood out for us was, as Nick said, was the peace that was in our home. You know, our time with our kids became a lot more intentional, as opposed to, hey guys, wake up, shove this porridge down your throat, where's your hat, where's your tennis racket, hurry up, we're going to be stuck in traffic, and then to sit in traffic for 30-40 minutes just to get to school, and then to sit another 30-40 minutes back just to get home, which just kind of defeated the point. You know, time, it was such a waste of time. And it was a very, very big thud that sort of happened when we had the conversation, or just posed a simple question, which was, why did we send the kids to school? And there wasn't a clear reason why. It was, you know, that deer in the headlights look of, well, everyone else has done it, that's why we did it. You know, they were at the right age. But yeah, for the first time in our lives, I think we really started questioning why we were doing certain things. And yeah, thankfully Nix agreed with it and researched it and convicted herself, and we took the brave step.
Yeah, I think that there really are 101 reasons as to why you should homeschool or why we've chosen to homeschool. And it's a journey, isn't it? You start off with one reason and then you learn more and you realize and you start seeing the benefits, and suddenly, oh, there's another reason and another reason. And we could spend all day talking about the reasons as to why we've made the decision. But ultimately, and I think definitely from being on tour, Ryan's 100% right. The one that really resonates with us at the moment is that time, you know, spending every hour of every day with the children. We don't take it for granted. And time also allows us to hold that space for them and their interests. And we suddenly tuned into what is making their little brains tick and the questions they're asking, and we have the time to sit and answer those questions and discuss. And yeah, that's just been amazing. And I often just think without the time there would have just been so many missed learning opportunities. So
yeah, 100%. I think that's you've hit the nail on the head, and it's lovely to see that, you know, that you didn't feel like you needed to go from school into a school at home mode and then, you know, then find your way. You've kind of gone from school into what the Walsh family does. So and I think that's also one of the blessings of homeschooling, when you get to know your kids, and obviously the hidden blessing of the slow transfer of property that's catapulted you into something different.
yes, exactly.
So did you go into this saying, oh, we're going to travel, or were you like, should we travel, or what are we going to use, how are we going to guide ourselves? Tell us a little bit about, you know, that shift.
Yeah, I think initially we thought, well, let's just do South Africa. There's so much of our country we haven't yet seen and done, and let's just give ourselves 3 months. I'm sure that's plenty time to go traveling. And it was just going down Alice's tunnel in Wonderland, as Ryan calls it. Your eyes just widen and open, and you start meeting people and speaking to people, and then you realize, why are we restricting ourselves? Why just 3 months? Why just South Africa? We've really got nothing holding us back in our hometown or rooting us down. And it's an incredible learning opportunity for the girls, you know, to explore and see other cultures and visit other countries. So yeah, I think we soon quickly decided, okay, let's try this overlanding thing. So we had to gear up and get a better 4x4 vehicle, and we found a little caravan and a 1,000,001 gadgets and gizmos that are needed for such a adventure. And we've really just given ourselves the year to go and adventure and explore.
Yeah, I think it was more of a metamorphosis of a bit of a rolling stone. You know, you start off with this COVID time where all of a sudden all we've got is time with each other. And it was unique and refreshing and frustrating and a whole lot of things, but you end up having a lot of time with each other and your family. And then as the world slowly starts to become normal again, you start realizing that you're not bound by just going away over school holidays, or you know, you can actually do something else in the morning as opposed to sitting in school traffic, or something else at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock instead of sitting in school traffic again. There's actually a whole lot more, you know, it's almost like the handcuffs have come off. So it started off initially with just being able to spend quality time and doing a little bit of different things around our area. And then that morphed into, well, why don't we do this from Cape Town? And then when you're in Cape Town, it starts becoming quite obvious to go, well, why don't we do this from Botswana? And well, why don't we carry on a little bit further and go and, you know, just carry on the adventure? And yeah, it's been very refreshing, almost to the point where I think we could easily become gypsies. No, we won't.
Looks horrified.
Seeing that face, I was going to ask, how do the girls feel? Do you feel like the handcuffs have been opened up? You've been set free from school? And how are you guys enjoying this? Katie, why don't you answer? You're loving it.
I don't really know what to say, but I feel like the handcuffs, as my dad calls it, have come off basically. And what my mom said, you also feel more freer. And doing this tour has really given us the opportunity to see stuff and learn stuff we've never basically seen and learned before. And going to like Botswana or something is not something you normally do on a school day. So
definitely not. And you were going to say something else?
I think I like homeschooling, love homeschooling, because it's just so fun and you get to choose what you want to learn and you don't have to repeat things, and like then you have to do things slowly in class, like then you have to do the same thing. It's kind of gets boring and you don't learn every single day. But when you're at homeschooling, you learn every single day, and it's actually, I love it. And it's just amazing to just be free and just like not go to school, because I just love homeschooling.
It's wonderful.
It's the best. Much better than school.
It's lovely. So of all the adventures that you've been on, and anyone can speak up, where would you say your heart is sitting at the moment? Where did you have the deepest connection, the greatest idea? Oh, hands going up.
I've got two.
Whoa.
Oh, but your hand didn't go up.
definitely Botswana and at Elephant Sands. When that we're at Elephant Sands, there's a water hole at that campsite where elephants come to and fro the whole time, drinking and water and stuff. And this one elephant decided not to go the normal pathway, but came straight past my camp and literally was like not even a meter distance away from me. And I'm pretty sure that was when I was most happy and
amazing.
Scared.
Yeah, for sure. But that's an amazing one. And your two favorites?
My two favorites when we're in Plate. It was amazing because you're right on the lagoon and you could just like, there was a lagoon and then a sandbank, and then you would go to the sea, and then you would just have like fun in the river and lagoon and stuff. And I think that is really fun to do. And there was also so much things to do there, like riding bikes or like going to the jungle gym. And my second favorite was Botswana, because Botswana is just like, it's open freely and there's no fence, and like Casey said, animals are just walking like around, like right next to you, or like elephants just come and go, and it's just amazing to watch.
Amazing. And then in terms of desk work disciplines, are you doing stuff in between? Are you doing maths and reading? What is your core curriculum? How does that look like when you're traveling? Or do you just set that aside and let the environment that you're in teach your kids?
Yeah, definitely, Wendy. I think we certainly honor the phases of learning that both Casey and Emma are at, and we especially want to cultivate a love of learning. So homeschooling for us doesn't look like school. If we were doing school at home, then that truthfully should just go back to school. Correct. Instead, learning looks very natural, and it's just a part of our everyday life together. So generally each day looks different, and it's pretty much based off of what the kids are currently interested in, the questions they're asking, what they're curious about. So some days they're both writing books at the moment, so they'll be stuck on their little laptop writing and getting inspiration for that. Other days they're stuck reading themselves, and I've lost Casey for hours as she's going down some Greek mythology book. Other days they are interested in learning about space and reading NASA's latest newsletters. And I think other days we're privileged to meet other people from different countries and cultures, and we get to learn from them as well. And there's a lot of days that we just be in nature and enjoy God's beauty all around us as well.
And we go play.
And they play. We encourage a lot of play. We know that they learn through play.
Absolutely, that's the work of childhood. Yeah, well, that's absolutely fantastic. So you're at a home base at the moment. You've done what, 3 months or 6 months? How long have you been on the road?
6
Yeah,
months.
it's been about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to come back with some work commitments, and it's good to just touch base with family and friends again. But yeah, we're leaving on this Sunday. We're very excited to get back on the road. And
Tour.
Fantastic. So where can people find you if they want to follow your adventures?
we do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page
And a YouTube channel.
and a YouTube
Yes.
channel. The girls are loving making these videos, and that's another skill they've developed along the way, is how to edit
Excellent.
and
So where are
and
you
make
off to
use of
next?
we're going to Kruger Park. We love the
Wow.
Kruger. We did start our adventure there, so but it's just got such a special place in our heart. We're just craving the bush at the moment.
Great.
We definitely would love to do more exploration around South Africa. There's a lot more to still see. And then ultimately the plan is to go up through Namibia, across Zambia, Malawi, and hopefully we can make it to Tanzania.
Lovely.
And probably a little bit of Mozambique as well. Our
Yes.
plans are pretty fluid. We don't really book too much in advance. We kind of just go where the road takes us, but that's the overall plan. I do just want to make mention, I know we haven't really spoken about the Footprints books, but that's a big part of our South African journey. So I really want to speak about it, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Free advertising.
These books have no, these books have really been gold for us. They're the only books that travel with us in the car wherever we go.
Okay.
We do value reading a lot, so we've all got access to a Kindle, and that's kind of how we read. But these books, the hard copies, travel with us everywhere. And we just absolutely loved the story of, how they tell South Africa's history through the lens of a child, and they just bring this learning comes alive for both them and us. I mean, Ryan and I would read these books. They were our read alouds as a family, and we would kind of stop and say, oh my gosh, did this happen? Like, we can't actually believe this is real. Like, I don't remember learning about this in school. And I guess, when we reflect on it, it's because we probably were taught it, but probably in a very one-dimensional textbook, dry worksheet kind of a way. Whereas, as we know, children learn three-dimensionally. And so these stories, just reading, it's that emotional connection you have with the characters, and it's been amazing. We all became very emotionally connected. I remember when we got to Franschhoek, that was a real wow moment for us. We were reading The Land of the Watching Eyes.
That's my favorite book. Sorry.
All around the French Huguenots, and the main character being Charles Marais.
Yes.
So we were in Franschhoek, and we thought, well, surely his farm must be here. I mean, he was one of the very first French Huguenots. So we did a bit of research and discovered, and I'm going to botch the pronunciation, but I think it's Plessis de Merle is his wine farm. Well, now it's a wine farm, but that was his farm.
All the French people are cringing right now.
Really not learning French in homeschool at the moment. And it was just the most goosebump moment walking onto that farm and thinking back to, the life he and his family lived and what they walked through. I was overcome with emotion. I just cried and cried and cried.
Once when we were sitting down under a shady tree, my mom just burst out crying, like, it actually happened.
The books have been absolutely incredible. I think it's one of our favorite times in our travels, because there's a lot of hours in the car. And usually driving can be quite an unproductive time, but we've managed to turn that on its head, and it's extremely productive. The conversations that come out of reading, sometimes just a short chapter, can last a couple of days. But it really brought our tour alive as we were traveling around South Africa, looking at the drows that
Bartholomew dies.
thank you, that he put up. And I mean, it just the whole tour came alive, not only with the stories, but with the experiences, and then actually physically traveling to see the historical evidence of some of these things. So it certainly beats reading it out of a textbook and memorizing it for an exam. This is the way it needs to be done.
Fantastic, yeah, dates and names kill history, but when you get into to the people's heads and their lives and their hearts that lived it, really makes things come.
And what's so great about the books as well is it's not just a history book. You know, so many other topics are introduced through these books, from geography to science to, you know, nature. So yeah, almost every paragraph we could stop and have a discussion about it. And you know, it was amazing. Yeah, it was really beautiful.
That's so lovely.
So thank you, really, thank you so much for sourcing these books and putting this program together. It's been absolute gold for us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I mean, now we feel so validated that we're just going to keep on plowing forward with the new projects that we've got on. You know, if people can get experiences like this from them.
I think what you're just affirming is that the living books and real life experiences just together gives your children such a rich education. It's priceless, really.
Yeah,
so well done for marrying those two concepts together and going and doing it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, lovely meeting you, and all the best with your travels, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Shirley.